Anyway, one of the other interesting things I believe that occurred with Walt was one day Walt summoned me once more, and if anything was true of this man, an unfilled space in one of his attractions, particularly in Disneyland, was anathema. He couldn't stand the idea. He hadn't really thought far into the development of the Sleeping Beauty Castle, which Bill Martin had designed for Fantasyland. And it was just a shell, an empty shell. So Walt said, Ken, come with me, I want to show you something. So we went into this empty shell, and we had a third party with us, a really Ricardo Montalban, all white, wonderfully poised gentleman who was one of my favorite people. He was Emile Coury. And Emile, if you knew him, was an immaculate man who was our interior decorator. Anything he decorated, as long as inside. So this being inside, I guess he should come with Walt. We went into this empty shell of this building, and here was a makeshift carpenter's ladder that went up seemingly into the gloom. And it was not a regular ladder. It was 2 pieces of 2x4 and odd pieces of shiplap with single nails in, some of them loose, up to a platform which was not wall-to-wall, really. There were places on the platform where if you didn't watch where you're stepping, you could fall back down the way you came. Light was afforded from the Fantasyland side through an unprotected open window. So we crawled up onto this platform, and Emile wasn't being talked to by Walt. Walt was addressing me, telling me, "Can we, now you've just been working on Sleeping Beauty, can't we put a Sleeping Beauty attraction in here? Obviously it can't be a ride to, there's not enough room, but you can come up with something in here that really will be a great attraction." And he was trying to get me excited about it. In the meantime, Emile, thinking he better look busy, I suppose, in his white suit, his white shoes, white shirt, even a white tie, and stepped over a little divider on the platform to where there was a huge box. And in the box were a bunch of gunny sacks. And not thinking, he picked up a gunny sack. And all of a sudden in the gloom, looking at Emile, as he looked different, he turned gray from the floor up. And it was all dazzling gray. It was like a shimmering scene. And then all of a sudden, Emile started to exclaim and hop around and swat himself. And he jumped over, I'm pretty sure he was gray all over. And he jumped over I've never seen anything like this. He jumped over the partition and was yelling, "Fleas, fleas." And Walt and I both began to swat ourselves. And this whole castle had some 45 or 50 feral cats in it. And Walt said, "Now, fellas, be careful. Don't be calm, be calm." He said, "There's a phone, I'll take care of it. We've done the phone. I'll get a vehicle to get us here. We've got to keep out of the crowds." Down the ladder we went, slapping each other, slapping ourselves. Got to the bottom of the ladder and Walt got on the phone. He said, "Hey, fellas," he said, "this is Walt." And then, "Walt Disney, that's who. Come and get us at the castle." So we thought we were going to have a nice big closed vehicle or something to drive up to the back of the castle. Instead, one of these little 2-seater go-karts came up. And Walt went on and got in, and he said, "Now you guys keep out of the crowd." We were jumping up and down, swatting fleas like crazy. But I never had any idea fleas could be so thick. And so Emile and I, we couldn't take it. We just thought, maybe we can't keep out of the crowd, but we can sure run through them fast. So we took off and we streaked through the crowd and went over into the service yard and got into the area where the wardrobe is, and they take care of everybody's clothes. And they had Walt in a space suit, and all his clothes were being defleed, and they defleed Emile and I, and it was a rather comradely time, talking to Walt and Emile in these strange outfits. And in the meantime, Walt said, "Now look," he said, "I don't want those cats. I want those cats taken care of." He said, "They've got to be found someplace where they're not going to be injured." So, that was what happened. He wouldn't let those cats be barbecued. He was a tender-hearted man, and he really rather enjoyed taunting those of us who enjoyed fishing. And I happen to have that, being born and raised in the Northwest, I just love to fish, love the outdoor country, love to wade in streams, and I graduated from worm fishing, which every fisherman who has a real love for the game does. It goes from still fishing, you go all the way up to you tie your own flies, and you become so adept at this thing, you kid yourself that, boy, this is like creating a beautiful drawing. I'm just sending this line with this fly out there, and I'm putting it in the most delightful place, and I tried to tell him about that. And he'd always kid me. He came send me a big fly, This weighed 5 pounds. Came back from Texas, called the Texas fly. Not the Spanish fly, the Texas fly. And I have it on my wall. Love Ken. At the same time, he knew that I thought very highly, only, according to the way they're supposed to be, only a fly fisherman, because they're the elite. So he had my name painted on the window of Wall Street, Ken Anderson's bait shop, which was his way of